How's it going, everybody? Welcome. Hope you're enjoying Summit. Hope you're learning a lot. Hope you're enjoying our Twitter feed, our LinkedIn feed, our YouTube feed. My name is Ben Gotfredson. I head up startup programs for Snowflake. It's a fun job. I get to work with a lot of cool startups. I'm sitting with one of them today. I'm sitting with my good buddy, John. He's the field CTO at Britive. John, you having fun this week?
I'm loving it, Ben. It's a great time.
Can you please tell us about yourself, introduce yourself, and your career arc leading up to Britive? I want to hear about that.
Yeah. So leading up to Britive, I'm a field CTO now, but I've always been on the balance between technical engineering and sales. So from the vendor perspective, really bridging that gap of what are the use cases and requirements. But before that, I did work for the U.S. Navy, submarine fleet, special projects, undersea research and development. I've been a security practitioner, and now I'm on the vendor side, helping customers solve these sort of problems.
Nice. I could tell the first time we met, you're like a Swiss Army knife. Is that fair to say?
Nailed it.
But that's a good pivot point. I want to hear about what Britive does. Why does it exist, and what do customers love about it?
Yeah, so Britive exists because a lot of our customers kept coming to us, our founders, and they came from an on-prem world. And customers kept saying to them, we need you to solve these problems in cloud. And they brought traditional tools, traditional concepts and ideas, and they said, why doesn't this work? We have this. And the customers were saying, you don't understand what we're doing or what we're asking. So Britive was born out of this concept of access control and access management specific to the cloud.
Yeah. So when did you join?
I joined about a little less than 2 years ago, and Britive was founded in 2018. So worked a lot of time on building the product first, making sure it works, making sure it's scalable, repeatable process. And when I joined, it was time to go to market and help customers.
Tell me about that growth, both in employee count and kind of customer growth. What have you seen in those 2 years?
Oh man, I would say 3x employee growth, 3x revenue growth, and innovation, really. We've been branching out into new spaces around things like credential vaulting, and we really take feedback from those customers, so the growth is really driven by those prospects, including revenue, right? Revenue grows as well. Most of our listeners probably don't care about that as much, but yeah, employee growth, customer growth, at least 3x.
So security space, it's becoming like more and more relevant for Snowflake.
Yeah.
But I'm still green in my knowledge of it. So explain to me, like the novice that I am, what Britive does and what outcomes does it deliver for customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So I heard a interesting conversation earlier today, and we'll talk about it later with Dave DeWalt and Omer Singer, right? And they're talking about breaches that happen. Most of the time it's related to credentials, related to access. So what Britive does is, if you take Snowflake, for example, people have access to different warehouses, roles, repositories, and what Britive does is we give those permissions at a role, warehouse, and resource level granularly, just in time. So we will give you access for 1 hour, and we will take that away.
Nice. Obviously relevant for Snowflake customers. Tell me about the Snowflake Partnership journey. I think I was super early days in the first conversations, but would love to hear it from your perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's two different aspects of where we fit with Snowflake. One, data is key, right? If we can understand how effective permission use is, meaning we give you permissions, how do you use those permissions? That's one thing. That requires data analysis. Aggregating tons of data across the cloud, Azure, GCP, AWS, understanding how those permissions work, and then combining that with the ability to enforce access. So we can give you access to certain cloud, like Snowflake, for a certain amount of time. So it's combining the visibility with data analysis with access control.
It's always cool when there's a hybrid relationship. It's like there's aspects where you're a customer, you're needing Snowflake for your own internal needs. There's also super relevant for almost every Snowflake customer, especially the ones with more complicated environments.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of your favorite customer stories, our joint customers.
Oh, I love it. So we got a big financial services company that processes credit cards. I won't name them, right? Security's always sensitive about that sort of
Smart.
thing. But, there's that concept of connected apps and managed apps across Snowflake. We're talking about it here. Everyone's pretty excited. What we're trying to do is, where can we find the balance between managing access to Snowflake as well as aggregating the data we need to get to a least privileged state of mind? So this customer came to us and they said, we are trying to build our own access control model because no one understands what we're saying. So Britive said, let us go ahead and do this for you using Snowflake on our back end, using our advanced data analytics engine to help you get to where you need to be and then enforce that sort of control. Super cool use case.
Saving them a headache.
Oh, huge headache. They can't hire enough people to do what they need to do, in the data space. So.
Yeah, and that's something you don't want to be responsible for yourself.
Right.
You want to. That's where Snowflake comes in the mix too. Like, you don't want to build your own database.
Right.
Trust us. Trust the people that are smarter than me.
That's what we always see, Ben. I mean, if you're an organization, it always comes down to build versus buy. And we have no doubt, all these organizations that are here at Summit, they're smart people. They can build anything they want. But what's the overhead cost of maintaining that, right? So you can build it. No one's denying your ability to do that. But buying it, we give you the support you need to go forward.
I wanted to ask you about business outcomes that Britive
Yeah.
is driving. That seems like a good one. Any additional that you'd add onto that for your customers?
Yeah, I mean, so we bridge a lot of boundaries. So when it comes to audit compliance, that's a very valuable thing. Who has access to what, that sort of governance, as well as automation. We like to move fast. Companies that want to, be agile and build in, we integrate with things like Terraform. Our goal is to get you to a policy-driven state of security that's automated. That is, that's value.
For sure. So what? We're on day 2, technically, of the summit.
Yeah.
What are some major themes you're picking up on? What's relevant to you?
Oh man, I'm loving it. So everybody here is pretty excited about what they're doing. Everybody wants access to data, right? They all want the data. They want to, analyze it, process it in their own way, get the value out of it that drives business forward. But what I am seeing is when I engage with just people on the floor, is they recognize security matters, right? They say, hey, okay, maybe I should care about who has access to what. So it is an interesting gap that Snowflake's bridging to how, Data Cloud really enables that sort of connectivity, availability, and, driving revenue. I'm excited.
I'm too. It's a lot of fun.
Telling you.
A lot of smiles in the
man.
in the conference, I think.
Yeah, happy people.
Where's the Britive going? Where's the roadmap in the next 1-2 years?
Yeah, roadmap, for us, 100% my role as the field CTO is listening to customers. What do they want? How do we drive innovation, right? How do we get to where they need to be for audit and compliance, security, data analysis, building these data lakes securely, doing data sharing, right? All the things we talk about here at Snowflake, how do we get there? We're focused on that. So a lot of the feedback I'm getting is around things like access management, separating authentication from authorization, and really managing both sides respectively. So a lot of our innovation is into that sort of development, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Where can the hordes of excited Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn users go and find more out about Britive?
We always got the website. We're always working to improve that. We're a small, agile startup, so most of the time we ask, hey, reach out. Reach out to us on LinkedIn. Reach out to us here at Snowflake Summit. Let's have a conversation. We're not trying to sell a product. We're trying to solve a problem.
Yeah.
So we just want to engage in conversation. So I highly recommend, LinkedIn, our website, and, reaching out to even Snowflake reps.
Love it. Yeah, it's important for us too. John, cannot thank you enough. This was a lot of fun. Everyone streaming in with us, we appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the summit, and thanks for joining us.